Now, here we come to the real part of the talk show, which is the flip side. We've seen a lot of discussion going around that parents are objecting for schools charging the normal fee from students, wherein the schools themselves are closed. While they are delivering the education online, it's really not up to that level, which is basically what is perceived by the parents. Being a parent myself, may have a different perspective, but then this is the format of this talk show. We intend to bring the other side, which probably may not be available to the parents, one such as myself. Tell us something about the intent behind, schools charging the fee even when there's a lockdown. These schools are closed.
In fact, the matter of school fee is a very contentious issue. A lot has been said on social media, in print, on electronic media by different stakeholders, the parents, the schools, school associations, the government. But I think all of us should understand the basic facts of the problem. First, most of the schools, you need to understand the balance sheet of a school. Most of the schools, forget about all those schools which have been running since 30, 40, 50 years. Most of the schools which have been operating in last 10, 15 years, they are less than 15 of age. Actually, most of them are running on loans, number one. Number two, 60 to 75% of the revenue of the school goes in teachers' salary. Now, this is an operational expense. This is not a capital expenditure, right? So, you give school 100 rupees, 75 goes in distribution of salaries. Now, how? And rest of the money is spent either repaying the loan, or there could be new capital expenditure. For example, you buy new computers or maybe some new facilities, maintenance and upgradation and other consumables, but large chunk is the salary. If the school do not get the fee, how a school can pay the salary? It is next to impossible. Either it is going to take more loan, right, to pay the salary, or it will either not pay or cut down the salaries for the teachers. Nobody is talking about transport fee. I'll give you one case study. I'm not saying whether the parent should pay or not. Let us understand the cost structure. Imagine I'm running 10 buses. Most of the buses are on loan. Every bus has an EMI, just like your car. Imagine this bus is standing for 3 months. The EMI has been deferred, it has not been stopped. 2, so the cost has not come down, it exists. The only thing I end up paying later. EMI exists. The salary of driver and Aya is there. Okay, it could be less because of lockdown, I understand. Third is the cost of insurance, road tax. Most of these costs which I talked about are almost fixed costs. Whether bus moves 1 kilometer or it does not, or it clocks 100 kilometers. None of these costs change. What is the variable cost in the case of transport is the diesel and obviously little bit maintenance cost. Now, if you understand, all these costs are the complete overhead. Imagine a school has 50 buses. You understand the kind of overhead it is. So the point is very simple, is that these costs stand, and if school asks the parents the transport fee, obviously there is a backlash. So we need to understand each other's concerns and together we come out of the problem. It is not about we will not pay or you not give, and it is, see, schools had no choice but to start online class. It was not a force. Trust me, because we run both test prep as well as schools, taking an online class is 2 to 3 times more difficult than actually taking a normal class. Teacher spends more time in checking the homework. Teacher spends more time in preparation. Teacher has to be more active and alert. he faces more nuisance in the class, and everything is working, a teacher working very hard. And people think so what is the other solution? The schools close and we declare a 0 year. But do you think that is a feasible proposition, that a child which was in 5th remains in 5th? No. We have to come out with a solution. The blame game is not going to help anybody. So the perspective has to be seen from the every side. It's not about right or wrong. You have to just go at the other person's shoe and see what are the problems.
We've also heard that while the school's been charging the entire fee, it's like they are still cutting down on the salaries of certain teachers or probably all of their teachers. What is the intent behind that?
In fact, as you asked the question that some of the schools are not paying complete salaries, in fact, this issue is very tricky. Because one quarter, most of the schools where we are in touch, nobody has got the 100% revenue or the 100% of the fee. So actually, if you have paid the fee, you assume that everybody has paid the fee. But the reality is, most of the schools, even in the entire one quarter, a lot of schools are below 50% in their, the total money which they have received. And it is moving actually from 30 to 90% depending upon the school, the parent profile. Just imagine, even the government has allowed fee, people are not paying because schools cannot be strict about the payment of tuition fee. So actually the money is trickling down. So actually most of the schools, once they get the revenue, it will be definitely paid to the teachers. And we at least at our school, we are committed that every money, single paisa has to be paid to teacher. It is again just like EMI, it is deferred. It is not that it is not paid. Most of the schools are going to work on a very simple formula, the percentage of revenue which they actually end up getting collected. There has to be some reflection in the salaries. Because if I get 50% revenue, I can't.
So where do we go from here? How do you see this pandemic is going to transform this industry? Even if things get to stabilize, the normal is not going to be the normal we used to have had earlier. So what's your take on that?
Already there is a lot of transformation which has already happened in test prep industry, and I think it is a lot of these behaviors are going to be permanent. So the education industry is definitely going to change for good, where there will be more efficiency, where there will be more this thing. But yes, there are problems, increased screen time. So actually everybody has to find way out. And one of the biggest challenge actually which we face in the online teaching is how to engage students. And a lot of us are working with different things. For example, trying to give them activities during the class and trying to increase the interaction with the students. And so actually this industry is going to evolve further. I think next 2-3 years is very crucial for this industry. But a lot of new trends are happening, and this is going to be there for future generations.
I'm sure there are lots of young entrepreneurs who would want to become Hirdesh Madan. I guess you've been idolized by a lot of them. What would be your advice to them during these scenarios? Any tips or tricks that you would want to share with them?
So all the people who are budding entrepreneurs, my 2-3 pointers which I have. One is, entrepreneurship is a journey. It is not a point. And it's just like you are driving on a road, you see some landscape, you move ahead, you see some other landscape, and it goes on. Right? It's not a one-point phenomenon. And to become successful in entrepreneurship, you need actually 2 things. One, you have to be hardworking. There is no solution to working hard. You have to be good in the things you end up doing. Please understand. If you are not getting the right, I'll say, context of the industry. You don't get into the industry. So for example, when we got into the online kind of a mode, so I learned digital marketing, understood the entire concept of SEO. We really worked hard on content, so I had to learn all these things new. So remember, you have to learn new things because technology is going to change very fast. New things are going to come because business works in an absolute dynamic environment. So you have to continuously upgrade yourself. Second, remember, there's a lot of hard work which I already told you. You have to think big. Very, very important. Don't think small. If you think small in life, you will never.
What advice you would offer to students who are going through this dilemma of uncertainty?
Yeah, I keep on interacting with the students, and a lot of students say, we are very confused, we are not in the right frame of mind. I fail to understand two things. So a lot of students' exams were postponed. So actually take it as an opportunity. Why you are taking it as a problem? You are getting extra time to prepare. And remember, in this extra time which you are getting, you can outpace somebody. Remember this. But at the same time, if your relative performance is less than others, then you are going to lose. So remember this. It is how you see the situation. So take it as an opportunity, number one. A lot of people are doing online internships, free courses from top universities like Harvard, MIT are available today. Remember, it is the time where you are getting a lot of quality webinars, quality seminars, workshops. This is the time to gain knowledge. And all the people who were getting into the job market, I'll say job market is going to be little slow next 18 months. So if you can park yourself in some courses and education for the next 1.5 to 2 years, I think that will be a good way of handling the issue, because by that time, you are out of the next course, a lot of things will be settled, a lot of things will be back in the economy, and so right time, there should be no confusion. Remember, this is an opportunity. This is not a threat.
And of course, most important, what advice will you offer to the parents who are going through an even bigger dilemma?
School parents are quite confused because sometimes they think the class will continue, what will happen to the classes. So see, we have to live in current now, because if you can't see the future, I'll say, then the best situation is to live the moment, live in the current. So current is you have books or some online things available. Kids can study them very well to write. It's the right time. I told you a lot of courses which are available online free of cost. You can tell your kids to actually learn through them, and at the same time, this is the time to work on other aspects which were missed actually by parents as well as kids. So maybe a more family time, there's more bonding with the family, and I see that a lot of good features also there. So the confusion is only, I'll say, when we think too much. So let us stop thinking, let us work just 15 days ahead what is happening, because this situation is very tricky. Nobody can predict what is going to be the case. So I think all of us should just plan for the next 15 to 30 days, not more than that, because thinking something and then it doesn't come good, then you get tense. It's better not to plan for a very long term right now. Just plan for 50 to 30 days in advance, and then try to find how you can utilize this best.
Once again, Hirdesh, I thank you for joining us on the FlipSide and sharing your thoughts. I hope the entire community gets some valuable insights from these, and we want to build upon your advice as well. Thank you so much for joining.